videos and I click on a 0. Well, it's nothing bad. And I click on a 0 just to give a guy his first viewer. And it was a naked 40-year-old man doing handstands.
Anyway,
I guess there's some people that are interested in everything, right? Boom, we're live. MMA Complete Podcast, episode 53. Today's episode is going to be very special. We're probably going to be doing like an hour and a half, 2-hour podcast today. And most of that is going to be because we have assembled top 15 to top 50 list of UFC's greatest of all time. We're also going to be joined at some point. Colby's going to be giving us some of his. He's working right now, but he's going to be giving us some of his. Dylan's going to be giving us some of his.
Okay.
Maybe. So
maybe, yeah.
Right. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be getting into some arguments, and there's going to be some names that I'm sure people will disagree with. And if you do disagree, feel free to comment your opinion and all that. So what we were just talking about is I wanted to give you some names that I wasn't going to crack my top 15 yet. Probably not even my top 20. Maybe one in the top 20. But I want to give you some names that you might be surprised I have as high as I do.
Okay.
For clarification purposes, I know me and you differed on this a little bit, but when I say high, I'm talking about number one.
It took a second to figure out.
Right. So if I say I have them higher, that means I have their actual numerical value lower. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I have John Jones higher than Khabib, that's John Jones is closer to 1 or 1, and Khabib is Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go first.
Should we get out a piece of paper to write down our agreed upon top 15 or top 10 or whatever?
Do it.
Yeah.
I got something right here. Oh, I'm definitely like right in the camera right now, aren't
I? Boom. We're live.
Well, we've been live. Let's see. Do I have any free paper? Here we go.
So can we all agree John Jones number 1?
No.
He doesn't have John Jones number 1.
I know,
I will agree with you.
I would, but the steroid debacle just, I can't. That's the punishment. You've got to be known as number 2 because you took steroids.
I don't know.
Well, I think here's the thing. I think because right now we got 3 people, majority is going to rule that.
Well, by all means, if you want to put JBJ up there, he is the fucking
number
undefeated GOAT. Like, let's be honest.
I don't want to get into this yet because I wanted to talk about some of the people that we are missing off the list first.
Like honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions.
Okay.
So, and even before honorable mentions, just people that, because I did a top 50 list. I did my top 50 GOATs of all time. And if you want to read my exact top 50, I've released the article on Naked Sports. Go check out nakedsports.com. And if you guys want to put yours up on Naked Sports too, top 15, we can do that. Number 40, I have Tony Ferguson. That was one that I was like, I don't know. But he did have the 12-fight win streak. What was it?
Yeah.
That counts for something. He was an interim champ. That counts for something. He's beaten some names.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's my first of the I have Brock Lesnar at 39.
Oh, yeah, Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
39.
That's fair. He only had, 4 fights in the UFC?
No, he had,
6?
8 or 9.
Oh, okay.
But he had, 5 or 6 wins. Another interesting name I have is...
Brought on a names to sport. Sold a lot of reviews. Dude.
Right, but for this list, and we should do some background on these lists. For these lists, I think you did the same, Mark. I know I did. I'm pretty sure you did. It's not on hype at all. No. It's on their records, what they accomplished in the UFC, and their skill as a fighter.
Yeah, more numbers.
Because if it was hype at all, Conor's number 1.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's brought the most fucking viewership to the UFC. It's him. It's got to be him.
Yeah, right. It is him.
And he's not. And we'll get into where Conor is. And we all have a very similar ranking for Conor, which I really like.
Yeah.
So a couple of the names that I just think it's interesting that I have I have Derek Lewis at 47.
This early?
Derek Lewis at 47. Most knockouts in UFC history.
Really? He's going to be?
A lot. Yeah.
He's fought for the title twice. He'll be fighting for it a third time.
Mm-hmm.
It's something.
Yeah.
Not anywhere close to top 20, but top 50, I like Derek Lewis in there.
Yeah, why not?
He deserves to be in it. I mean, the guy, he almost did lose to Alexander Volkov.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you have Royce Gracie on the list?
Royce Gracie, I have at 19.
Really? Okay, that's a little closer to 1 than I was expecting.
Right, I was battling with it too, and I have some names below him that I could put him below, but it's nostalgia. And technically, he's a champion. Technically, he's the champion.
Yeah, for all the weight
But
classes.
For
too.
a pound for pound champion, right?
Yeah.
It's not even, and it's a different era of the sport. I get that.
I think, like we said before, it was a different era in the sport.
Right, it is.
You know what I mean?
And that
So, like, how would
that
you fare
goes to
now?
show. And that takes an effect when you're calculating these rankings.
Well, now he would get very badly beaten.
Yes, he would.
Especially without a gi. Like,
Especially if you have someone who's knows jujitsu and kind of knows boxing.
oh boy.
If Hoist Gracie was forced to stand in front of someone, he probably wouldn't do well.
Yeah.
And we saw that because Hoist Gracie fought Matt Hughes in like 2008. And Matt Hughes
Got beat pretty bad.
and Hoist Gracie was 41 and Matt Hughes was 33. So that's another part of it. But, Francis Ngannou.
All right. Where do I have Ngannou? He's definitely. He might be
He
in my
differs.
20s.
He
He's in my
differs.
20s.
He differs from
Because I haven't gone past 15.
Mhm.
Like, but he is trying to think.
No hype.
We can
Well,
look
no hype at all. He's got one belt.
while we have it here.
No defenses.
So this is my rankings. This isn't in order for top 50, but this is active. This is non-active. Just so you know where I'm placing people.
That's who I forgot. And Whitaker.
I have Francis Ngannou at 25
That's about
all
fair.
time.
I would have said maybe like a 23 or something. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shout out to I have 5 females on this list, by the way.
congrats, 5 females.
The 2 females I don't have in the top 15. I have 3 females in the top 15.
Yeah.
I have Rose Namajunas at
Oh,
34.
top 15. Okay. No,
No.
34,
In my
okay.
top 50. I have Rose Namajunas at 34. I have Chris Cyborg at 28.
She deserves it. She really does.
I was struggling with that. Rose could be higher. She's twice champ now.
Mhm.
But Cyborg was beating everybody until Amanda Nunes.
Yeah. Chris Cyborg versus Rose would be a good fight.
A couple other honorable mentions I have. Jorge Masvidal snuck in at 44.
I like that one.
Do you got a Diaz brother up there?
I don't.
No.
I don't have Diaz in my top 50. Nate Diaz is a borderline. Borderline.
Borderline.
Who else can I throw up there? A name that I didn't. Oh, real quick. BJ Penn is 33 now for me.
Yeah.
I know we talked about him being 25 at one point. He dropped down on my list. Current champs out of the top 15, I have Charles Oliveira at 22. Most submission wins in UFC history and on a 9-fight win streak.
We'll see. We'll see how far I can go too.
Right.
Yeah, see how far that chin can hold out.
Alex Volkanovski
Yeah, I didn't have him in my top.
is
15 either.
27.
It's about good.
Alex Volkanovski is my 27.
It's just tough. Like, and then he beat Holloway twice.
Yeah, but it was close the second fight. It was
Mine-
Yeah, but
real
he beat him
close.
twice, and then like Holloway's so far up. I'm just like, that's what.
My number 50 of all time is Alistair Overeem.
The Reem. He gets it. He
Just
gets his
barely underneath Dan Henderson and Tito Ortiz. I have Tito at 48.
back. Yeah, Tito was memorable, but not very good.
Right. He was great when he wasn't fighting Chuck Liddell.
You
know what I mean? I have
a lot of people.
I have Dominic Cruz at 20.
Mhm.
I have Hoist Gracie at 19. I have Israel Adesanya at 17.
Out of the top 15.
I have Max Holloway at 16. And then the biggest point of contention that I'm going to have with either of you, I have Daniel Cormier at 16. Daniel Cormier is not in my top 15.
I'd have him in my top 15 over a Ronda Rousey.
And if it wasn't for Austin, over the last couple of days, me and him have talked about it a little bit. If it wasn't for Austin,
Mhm.
Cormier would be close to like 20 for me.
Really?
I believe that Daniel Cormier's legacy, he is an all-time great Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. I think he's overrated though.
Double champ.
He was a paper light heavyweight champ.
He didn't defend it at light heavyweight not once.
No, he defended it.
Yeah.
But it was because John Jones wasn't in the UFC at the time.
Yeah. Hey, drugs will do that.
It will. All right, so that's all I got to say for my honorable mentions. That's all I wanted to get out there. I have a couple people borderline that didn't make my top 50. Carlos Condit.
What's your Jose Aldo ranking?
He's in my top 15, so I want to
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
So I wanna-
let's get this started.
How do you guys want to do this? Do you want to all say our 15th first?
Yeah, sure. And
I'm still changing mine as we're talking.
yeah, we can change it.
Yeah,
when we
oh
put it
yeah,
on
we're
the
definitely
list.
going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be changing it a little bit too.
Yeah, so all right, you go your top 15 first.
Well, no, I just want to say my 15th and then your 15th and then we say 14th.
Oh, okay.
You wanna do
Okay,
that?
Yeah.
Do you want to do like 15 through 10 at a
15,
time?
15.
So we're doing
15 at a time.
we're listing the names and then debating, or listing one name, debating that name at that spot.
Yeah, we can list that name at that spot. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're just going to say our 15th
Okay.
and then our 14th.
Okay.
Okay.
So you
My number 15 fighter in UFC history
wait on me.
is Ronda Rousey.
Same. I agree.
You got 15?
Yeah, Ronda Rousey.
Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. I can't be mad at that.
I didn't put him on my list.
Can't
but
be mad
respect.
at that.
Right.
I totally
Let's I'm going to write this down.
see. I thought when I was thinking of putting Chuck Liddell in my 15, I thought I was just having
Can
like
I say something?
fond memories as a
After you-
child.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
go
agree.
ahead.
Ronda Rousey is my 16.
Okay. That's
Okay,
notable.
So that is my honorable mention
Mhm.
for the 15.
Love
Because it's
that.
either her or Chuck Liddell.
That's a pretty good area, like for her. Is that
Yeah.
since the three of us came up with that separately?
Right. So we know Rousey's right around 50.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't put Rousey on 16, but I had Roundy on there and then I swapped them. So yeah.
All right. 14?
I got Valentina Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
Cejudo.
I have Matt Hughes.
Okay.
Okay. So first one, we all differ.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think Valentina?
While Valentina's been very dominant, she
I'm not mad at the pick.
Yeah.
I like it.
while she's been very dominant, there's still only like what? She's got 4 titles, or was it 5?
I'm not sure the exact record.
I believe
it's only been a couple title defenses, and it's lack of competition's sake.
Yeah,
I totally hear
she's
you.
a double champ, right?
No.
So that's probably the reason. I put her
Amanda
at 14.
Nunes is the only double champ in
Yeah.
women's history.
And she can drop down whenever she fucking wants.
Right.
But that's the reason I think I put Shevchenko at the time at 14.
So-
She doesn't have that double champ status,
Hmm.
and the lack of defenses.
Henry Cejudo.
Mhm.
And you kind of changed my mind on this just 40 minutes ago.
Right.
Lack of competition.
Mhm.
Lack of competition, I feel like. So I put him down, even though he did have title defenses.
I
feel
think
like,
Cejudo has like a Khabib career to him. He
kinda.
lost, so it's different. But when you look at Cejudo's record, he did all right. He didn't have great competition, but then in his last 5 fights, he had great competition, you know?
Yeah.
And he beat them all, and he knocked out most of them.
Yeah.
So that would give it to him. I have Cejudo lower just because he was a flyweight champ, and I don't totally count flyweight champs, even though I have Mighty Mouse higher. I have Cejudo at 24, just for clarity's sake, and I have Shevchenko in my top 15. We'll get to it
Well,
later.
Cejudo lost to Mighty Mouse, so.
Yeah, I did.
He did, but he also
He
beat
did.
him.
Yeah, but he got KO.
Right, exactly. That's a part for me.
Yeah.
And he also lost to some other people. He lost to like Ian McCall.
Joseph
He
Benavidez.
lost to Joseph Benavidez.
Yeah.
That's something.
I also want to say I've had Henry Cejudo at number 10 on my list,
Mhm.
and then I've slowly worked him way down.
Right. Matt Hughes, 46-9. At one point, he was 45-3.
A lot of those are out of the UFC.
They are right, but he was the first welterweight champ. He defended it against like Carlos Newton, Carlos Condit. He beat George St. Pierre and BJ Penn. He beat Matt Serra twice. He beat Josh Koscheck.
Yeah.
Back in the day, before George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes was the greatest welterweight ever. And it's a little nostalgia for me because he lost 4 of his last 5 fights or something like that. So that puts him down a little bit.
Yeah,
We'll be getting
that's
into
so
that.
unfortunate.
He's one of the first great wrestlers in UFC too. That's another huge part of it.
Mhm.
And you have the Dan Severns and you have the Ken Shamrocks and shit that
Yeah.
were great wrestlers, but Matt Hughes is up there, I think.
And he had quite a lot of title defenses, the most at the time.
Oh yeah,
I believe it was 7 or 8 title defenses.
in a row too.
Yeah.
Until he lost to I think BJ Penn beat him before George St. Pierre did. I think BJ did.
I think BJ Penn might have beat him twice. Let me look at this record though.
He could have.
BJ Penn was a beast.
Yeah,
He absolutely was, but he fizzled out so quick. He had such a quick prime. He had like 3 years of prime.
dude, BJ Penn got his black belt and won a Worlds in Jiu-Jitsu in
Mhm.
3 years.
Mhm.
That's fucking unheard of.
And then 3 years later, he was losing all his fights.
And getting knocked out in bars to this day.
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to tell you, Austin, because he might have more of an inclination,
I've watched a couple.
What
of
do you
fights,
think
I don't know.
BJ Penn's up? BJ Penn has 33 career fights. What do you think his record is?
Is it 500?
What do you think his record is?
Is it
Is it 500?
It's not 500, no.
No, I don't know. It's like 23-10.
What do you think it is?
I think it's a split. I think it's about split. A little more for the wins. Like maybe 18 wins and like what? He has 33 fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, 500.
Maybe 18 wins and like
So
30.
19 and 14.
Yeah. Wow.
When I think of BJ Penn, I would have thought it was like 24 and 7, some shit like that.
Mm.
No, he lost a lot in that last of his career. But anyway, did
We'll
you
get into
did you
that
see
more.
if he beat Hughes twice?
He did beat Hughes twice.
Beat Hughes twice, so that's huge. That's huge.
One of those was the one that stopped his title run.
So Dylan's gonna be sending his 15 to me right now.
Okay.
Uh,
So 13.
okay. 13. I have Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell. And honestly, after talking with you guys, I could totally agree putting Chuck Liddell over Adesanya.
Mhm.
Like so far,
You have Adesanya at 13.
I have Adesanya as 13.
Okay.
But he still needs to go quite a ways. But so far at 185, he's just been the fucking most
I
lethal.
got-
If Adesanya never fought Blachowicz, he might be in my top 10.
Yeah. It's just such a bold move going up
Yeah.
that weight.
It was.
Fight
It was
a guy-
a risk. It was a risk.
During that fight, Adesanya was outweighed by around 30 to 40 pounds.
And
You know how fucking crazy that is?
I think he would have been able to stop his takedowns.
There's been heavyweight fights that don't have that type
Yeah.
of fucking difference.
yeah, really impressive.
I got Cain Velasquez.
Kane at 13.
Heavyweight.
So-
I give him.
Beat Brock Lesnar, beat JDS twice,
Yeah.
beat Verdum.
And that's just 4 titles, right? No, it didn't get 4 titles.
No, I think he
got-
has more than that.
4 titles in the heavyweight? I thought
Yeah.
Stipe was the only one.
Oh, you're right. Stipe did get 4. So Kane has 3 then.
Yeah.
Kane has JDS once because he beat Lesnar and JDS for the title that wasn't a defense.
Yeah.
So he beat JDS once, Verdum once, and then someone else.
He was such an amazing fighter.
And he was one of the greatest cardio heavyweights ever. Dude could go 5 rounds like nothing, weighing 240 pounds.
Yeah, he has 4 titles to his name. I'm not sure if one of those is an interim,
Mhm.
but 3 in a row. One of those was a Brock Lesnar win, followed up by a loss to Junior Dos Santos.
Who, by the way, JDS is in my top 50, by the way.
Okay.
JDS
top
I
50.
have at 35.
Yeah, he should be there.
Yeah.
he
He's
was
another.
great for the heavyweight.
He's the top 5 heavyweight of all time, I think.
So who did you have for 13?
I have Chuck Liddell, and it's for everything we said. Chuck Liddell was the original Conor McGregor
Yeah,
from a hype standpoint and from a knocking people out standpoint,
and that shit
Hype,
talk with Tito.
hype.
and
That Tito.
probably like top 3 rivalry of all time easily. And it's probably top 2.
The Iceman was the name of the early 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but he has a lot of good wins. He has wins over Tito, obviously.
Yep.
He has wins over what was that dude's name?
Vitor Belfort.
Vitor. He has
Yeah.
wins over Vitor. He has wins over all the older guys from that generation. He was the original light heavyweight.
Chuck Liddell.
Randy
just
Couture,
been
you
through
said you
wars,
beat.
man. He's been through
Yeah.
some.
He beat Rampage. He only got knocked out by Rashad Evans, but he was winning that fight. But that doesn't really matter anyway.
It's light heavyweight.
And he was 40 years old.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell fought 5 fights after 40 years old in the UFC. And he lost 4 of them, by the way.
CTE.
Yeah.
Right.
Iceman was getting us. He was getting frozen.
All right. 12.
I got Henry Cejudo here at number 12.
Got Henry Cejudo.
I got Valentina Shevchenko.
You have Shevchenko. At 12, I have Cain Velasquez.
Okay.
So we've already talked about all these
We're
people.
pretty close.
I think we all, and this means that we all have a very similar top 10, which I really like.
Yeah. Well,
Great
those
mindset.
fighters speak for their
Right.
actions. That's
And
what
I
it
think,
is.
all right, so my reasoning for Cain, what I just said for years, he has 3 title defenses. He's one of the greatest cardio heavyweights, and he beat big names. And he did it all in a 4-year span. I think he won 5 out of 6 fights in 4 years, and 4 of those were for the belt.
Yeah, I don't see anyone beating Shevchenko anytime soon. I think, she's such a dominant fighter. Who's gonna knock her out? I don't know.
She
I
is
don't
getting
know
a
who's
little older.
but
but-
who's gonna beat her in a decision? I just don't see it. So I think she has at least 3 or 4 more defenses too. So
I agree with you.
I think she's the most well-rounded women's fighter other than Amanda Nunes right now.
I don't think
Of all time, I would
Yeah.
say. I think she's the second greatest women's fighter of all time.
Her
Yeah.
striking is probably the best. I'd say, I don't know, fucking Nunez.
Kickboxing,
Yeah,
yes.
kickboxing.
Kickboxing, yes. But Amanda Nunes
She's
has
just got
the
that
one intangible
dog.
of power.
Yeah, she's got that dog in her.
Amanda Nunes is 10 pounds less and 3 inches shorter than Cyborg and might have more power than Cyborg.
Yeah. I don't think she should move up. I mean, the money fight is for her to move up, but if I think moving up just hurts her career.
She already
Yeah.
lost twice.
You know what I mean?
There's
You have really nothing. I mean, you
And
do
there
have
is
something
more
to prove,
and there
but-
is more contenders coming up in the women's featherweight and flyweight division.
Absolutely, and I think if her staying there can make her dominance
Mhm.
even more greater.
I think so,
what
too,
mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah, solidify her position on top
Yeah.
in your division.
Anything on Cejudo?
she could crack
Uh,
top 10. She could be better
Nothing
than
really.
McGregor.
We haven't already talked about. Like, I just think, for me personally, I think he's above Valentina and Adesanya in that spot.
Champ.
Yeah,
I'll
champ,
give it to you.
gold medalist.
TJ
youngest ever.
Dillashaw on his fucking record, which is huge to me because I'm pretty
Right.
sure that was when TJ was on EPOs up the fucking ass.
Oh, it was absolutely,
Up the ass.
literally. All right, 11.
Matt Hughes.
Jose Aldo.
I also have Jose Aldo at 11.
Really? Okay. Can I hear why you guys have Jose Aldo?
Jose
I will
Aldo
give
was
you-
number 1 pound for pound in the rankings at one point.
He was, and he was dominant. He had what was it, 9? Was it a 9-fight win streak or something like that?
Yes, I think it was. No, I think it was 8.
It
And
was
he has-
something tremendous.
He has what, 4 title defenses
He
or
was-
3?
Undefeated for 8 years. I remember that.
That's what it was. It was 8 years.
Undefeated for 8.
So I will give you a very simple explanation why I don't have Aldo higher. So Aldo fought for his time. He beat every great featherweight, and I'm talking Uriah Faber,
Kenny
Florian, Chad Mendes, Frankie Edgar, Chan Sung Jung, Ricardo Lamas, Chad Mendes. But then you look at the back half of his career, and he has no notable wins.
Yeah,
That's the only reason he's not in my top
he
10.
got left in the last generation.
Lost to Holloway twice, Volkanovski, Moraes, and Piotr Jan, and he's beaten Chito Vera, Jeremy Stevens, and Renato Moicano. And Renato Moicano is good.
He
He's
also
really
beat
good.
Marlon Vera. He's pretty good.
I don't consider Chito Vera that great. I know he's top 15, and he's good. Obviously, he's good.
Yeah. A
But,
good,
like,
not a great. Though.
He
Yeah.
beat Sean O'Malley. That's really all it was.
Didn't he like win against Max Holloway and then he still got the title defense or title?
No, he lost to Marlon Moraes.
Oh,
He lost to Marlon Moraes by a split decision,
that he should have
but
won.
Dana White came out right after the fight and said that Aldo should have won that fight. And then he fought Piotr Jan, and Piotr Jan knocked him out.
Yeah, I.
But Aldo's
it
the
doesn't
first
change-
featherweight champ,
It
and
doesn't change my opinion.
Yeah.
Look at that. 1, 2.
Well, a lot of those are
Oh, well, he
WBC.
won
seven title fights in a row.
Yeah, that's impressive.
7 title
7.
victories in a row.
Yeah.
His first UFC fight was for the featherweight champ in 2011, and he didn't lose until end of 2015 to Conor McGregor. So that's 4 years as UFC champ in a row.
That's the latter of his career that really like stuck with me more than
Right.
the fucking dominant.
And we'll talk about
performances.
someone a little bit later that has a very similar career path, and
Started
it hurts his top legacy.
Started out young, dude.
Mhm.
And we're gonna talk. A lot of this happens to a lot of fighters' careers.
Mhm.
So,
All right,
10.
boys, top 10.
and we all.
So-
I think we all agree on who's the 10.
I think do we all have the same 10?
Yeah.
Connor.
Yeah,
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor is the number 10. And I think it's a really good spot for him. And people will get pissed because he's a champ. And in my opinion, there's only 2 verified champs to me. Amanda Nunes and Conor McGregor. All the others have some kind of asterisk. Whether it's Cejudo, who won it by a split decision in a division that didn't
Yeah.
count,
Yeah.
or it's Cormier, who
Nah,
won
you
it
can't
against
say that.
when John Jones wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's only 4 champs. So I think McGregor, who beat Aldo and beat Eddie Alvarez, is a complete champ.
Yeah.
But he's won in one of his last 4 fights.
Yeah, he's starting to have that downward spiral.
He
by the
absolutely
looks
is.
of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I would hate to see that because guy has been such a draw for the UFC
Absolutely.
and for combat sports.
But he's such a
athletes
draw
everywhere.
that even if he loses to Poirier again, he'll have another 2 fights, and they'll both be main
Dude,
events.
he could
No,
fight
probably.
a homeless guy, and people are gonna buy the fight.
Absolutely.
You know,
If he
don't matter.
loses to Dustin Poirier, I honestly see him going and fighting a Paul brother.
Maybe not yet.
Not yet. It's
Not
not that
yet.
desperate.
I
He's
don't
not
know.
that desperate.
I
yet.
could see Connor if he loses to Poirier. I could see Connor Tony.
I got Connor in that fight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I heard. I'm trying to think. There was a report of a UFC fighter going to fight Logan Paul that's retired. I can't think of the name. It'll come to me though.
So there it is. Starting off our top 10, we all have Conor McGregor at 10, and we really didn't plan that either.
Comment?
We really didn't plan that either.
No.
Colby, we have not even talked about your list yet. That's right. He sent us his list, so we can talk about Colby's. But right now, we are going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast. You're brought to you by Naked Sports. Go check out nakedsports.com for the complete list of my top 50 UFC greatest of all time. And for Yard Olympics, which is coming up in a week and a half, you can sign up at Naked Sports, and you can check out all the other podcasts and content that we do. So we will be right back for the rest of our top 10. And we're going to be talking about Colby's top 10, and Dylan is going to be giving us his top 15 soon too. So we will be right back. All right, so we are back. So real quick, because we're already at 10, I'm going to give you Colby's 15 through 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to write it right here. And then once Dylan finally sends it to me, like he said, I'll put his too. But Colby at 15 has Adesanya.
Okay.
At 14, Holloway. At 13, Cejudo. At 12, and I respect the shit out of Colby for saying this. I just don't agree.
Okay.
But he has Randy Couture at 12.
I love Randy.
So Randy Couture, one of the first huge names in MMA, one of the greatest. He's not a champ, but he's one of the first people to ever win. He is the first person to ever win a championship in 2 different divisions.
Yeah.
He was a light heavyweight champ, and then he was heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
But that's a little high.
Yeah.
His overall record isn't that great. He has a lot of losses.
It's on and off with his record.
But I can appreciate the fact that from a historical sense, he's going with Randy Couture at 12. At 11, he has Connor.
And this was a boxer that started as he started
Army
as
boxer.
a boxer. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I remember you were telling me this fact, but it's still cool to highlight when we bring up Randy Couture that, he fucking made his career wrestling in the UFC.
Yeah, he did.
And he had the hands to back it up.
Right.
Yeah.
He's another one of those true fucking mixed martial artists.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I think we talked about this in one of the other podcasts, but he fought a boxer in MMA, James Toney, heavyweight WEC champion,
Yeah.
who talked all this shit to Randy Couture. And Randy Couture was like, dude, bring it. What are you doing? Bring it. And then Tony got in the ring and Couture tapped him out in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
As you would expect, or as at least people nowadays would expect. People back then, they didn't have as much of a clue. But even back then, we all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. We all
It's
seen
cool.
the first UFC.
Right. Exactly.
So
All
number 9.
Real quick. So that's Colby's 15 through 11. And I just got to double check here. Okay, so at number 10, Colby has a name that we have not talked about yet. At number 10, Colby has Kamaru Usman.
Okay.
I respect that.
I do too.
I respect.
I
I
can
mean,
totally get
he's
that.
he's in all of our top 10s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in my top 10.
Right. I respect it. All right. So now we're going to 9. Colby at 9 has Cormier.
I'll put Daniel Cormier there too.
He's your 9?
Yeah.
Austin?
Daniel Cormier is my number 9. Not planned.
Really?
Not planned.
Maybe I should have put him higher. Shit. He's my 16.
It's just because he did have that
He's a
shady
double
shit with John
champ,
Jones, but
dude.
he had a dominant career when he fought.
Right. My number 9 is Valentina Shevchenko.
Okay.
He's double champ.
All right, so we've said everything about Shevchenko. She's the second greatest woman of all time. Her only loss is to Amanda Nunes. She can beat you by knocking you out. She can beat you by decision. And we just saw in 2 fights ago, she can beat you wrestling, which we never even thought could happen.
Yeah.
One of the greatest of all time, second greatest woman of all time. And I could even put her higher than 9. I really could have. So let me hear what you guys think about Cormier, because it's very interesting that you guys all have him at 9.
Just throughout his career, I really remember him just totally being a dominant fighter. Like in the heavyweight and in the light heavyweight division. But it's important to talk about his heavyweight career, because before you had Stipe solidify the heavyweight GOAT status, the argument was between Cain Velasquez and DC. And that's really something.
Yes and no, because when Stipe was making his name and eventually made the name as the greatest of all time, Cormier hadn't fought in heavyweight in the UFC. He'd fought in Strikeforce, but he never fought in UFC.
Yeah, but that was before he came up and fought for the title.
Right.
But that's my purpose for having DC. So
you could say that Cormier is a top 5 heavyweight and light heavyweight of all time.
Yeah, I think.
How many people can you say that about 2 different divisions?
Yeah, it's a good.
It's a fair point.
I think him losing to the number 1 guy all time and the number 1 heavyweight of all time. I mean, that's his only losses.
Right. And
says something.
The only thing about it to me is he's only lost to those guys, which is huge. And if that was the only case, he'd be in my top 10.
Yeah.
But the fact that his best win is Volkan Ozdemir. No, it's Stipe.
Yeah.
It's Stipe.
It's Stipe.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's Stipe.
But I get what you're saying.
His second best win is Volkan Ozdemir.
With the most notable names.
Yeah.
Anthony Johnson is up there. Alex Gustafsson's up there.
Gustafsson, you got him kind of at like.
But when he beat Ozdemir was 13-0 running through the light heavyweight division. That was a good win.
Yeah.
You know? If he had another notable win, if he had beaten someone else top 5, I'd put him higher, but I just can't.
Yeah. Well,
I totally have no problem with you guys putting him 9, because he is up there. He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, for the double chance status, and even though you can say it's paper because John Jones wasn't there, who is the true fucking light heavyweight GOAT, no doubt about it.
Oh, here's Dylan's. Dylan just sent his.
Dylan did just send his, but go on. You can finish yours real quick.
But that's really why I'm at like there. That's my purpose.
All right.
I disagree.
All right.
I disagree with Dustin Poirier.
Let me take a
I disagree heavily with Dustin Poirier.
All right, so look at 3. That's early for number 3. Wow. Okay. Dylan at 15 has Jose Aldo.
Kamaru Usman, number 3?
Don't give it away. Number 15,
Sorry.
Jose Aldo.
Gave it away.
Number 14, he has Connor. Number 13, he has DC. Number 12, he has Stipe.
At 12?
At 12. 11, he has Poirier. He has Poirier above Stipe.
That's ridiculous.
Number 10, he has Mighty Mouse. And number 9, he has Cejudo. Oof. There's a couple things I would change, but that's Dylan's list. And you know what? Dylan's been watching UFC for a long time, too. Dylan knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
Demetrius Johnson at number 10, though. God damn.
Yeah. I'm not even mad at it, because Demetrius Johnson didn't face anybody. And he got beat by Cejudo. Yeah. And he just recently got beat, too, although we're only talking UFC.
Yeah, the one had a little different of a rule.
14?
Conor McGregor 14.
I respect that.
Poirier's too high for me. Miocic is too low for me. Usman's too high for me. But besides that, Cejudo's a little high, but I'm not too mad at the list. I'm really not. Yeah. It's not bad.
I like John Jones of number 1.
Anderson Silva is fucking low for me, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, well,
that's right about where I have him.
So right where I have it, Anderson Silva, Dylan has at 8.
I actually have Anderson Silva at 8 as well.
I have Usman at 8.
Mark, you have Silva at 8?
Yeah.
You have Usman at 8?
Yeah.
I believe I do too. I have Usman at 8.
Unplanned, not planned.
Not planned. And then Colby, I'm fucking going through all this shit right now. You want to look at Dylan's list for me, and I'll have Colby's open.
Dylan is.
He has Anderson Silva at 8.
Okay.
Colby has Jose Aldo at 8.
I respect that. All right,
Little
so
too-
Here's
a
where
little too
here's
high
where we
for
get
me.
into the meat of the card. Though.
Here's where we get
Yeah.
into the meat. And I wish Dylan was here to defend Anderson Silva at 8 because I would blow his shit up right now. And I know what he would say.
Yeah.
Silva's lost 8 of his last 9 fights.
That's my
That's what it
point.
is.
But that's being honestly, that's my point for picking Anderson Silva so late.
Mhm.
But that's
8 is
just
still
me.
low.
That's me being harsh
8
for
is
those
still
losses. Because before that,
He was
He
the
was-
GOAT.
yeah, he was undefeated for what was it, Zach? It was something like 13 fights, not titles. It was something more.
Just
than
for
that.
the UFC, he had a 16-fight win streak.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then he got backhanded by a Weidman that broke his leg, and that's the
Right.
Double.
That's the downward trajectory. Exactly. So Colby has Jose Aldo at 8. A little high for me, but I'm not
Little high
mad
for
at
me
it.
too.
He's the first featherweight champ, and he had a long 8 years undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Totally give it to him.
So I could totally see him taking Kamaru Usman, who I have on my spot.
Mhm.
He's still on my list.
Yep.
I think I have him a little low because compared to Anderson Silva, it's just not the same
Mhm.
weight.
I'll say what
Here's your
we
order.
both have Usman at 8.
Hmm.
Usman is the pound for pound greatest in the world right now.
Okay.
He has
Right now.
4 title
Currently.
defenses
Mhm.
plus his title victory over Woodley.
Yeah.
He hasn't lost in 7 years, and I don't see anyone in the division that can beat him.
Except for maybe Kobe.
Maybe
Leon
Like,
Edwards.
that's
is
a
damn
hard
good
one.
Leon
fight.
Edwards is up there.
I think
Damn good
Kamaru steamrolls Leon. I'm saying it right now.
Oh, no, I think he's gonna
steamrolls
win.
him.
Great,
I think
great
he's.
fight.
I
Great,
think he's
great
clearly
balance of
the
fight.
greatest welterweight in the world right now.
Yeah, pound for pound.
He
He
just
might
needs
be.
to do a little bit more. But here's the thing about Usman.
Mhm.
It hasn't been confirmed, but Colby's coming up next. We know Edwards is up there. But like with every fight that Usman fights from now on,
He gets better.
he's gonna go higher on the list. Like
Yeah.
every single one. He beats Colby one more time, he can go to 6.
That's
He
double
beats
beating
Leon
the-
Edwards,
the
he can go
toughest
to
guy.
4.
Yeah, he's got promise.
Right.
Colby's saying
If
we're
he
not
win-
talking about his list, and we are.
He said that before we started it.
Oh,
think.
he just sent it to the group. They
Oh.
ignored mine. Yeah, whatever, man. Believe what you want.
I almost hit you on the way to Zach's house. I'm sorry.
Oh, because he's saying that to Dylan.
He was
Oh.
walking
Alright.
across the street.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's why I have Usman.
Hey, you should have came through. He's not working.
No, he's working.
All right,
Damn guy.
He was going to rip the jewel in his car.
7.
7.
At 7, Dylan favoritism because I know this is Dylan's favorite fighter. He has Adesanya.
Whoa.
That's 7.
All right, but I can see how the vision could be blurred a little bit. And he has been doing tremendous in the UFC at 185.
Colby. Oh my God, Colby at number 7 has fucking John Bones Jones.
Oh,
That is bad.
is your reasoning steroids?
Ooh,
Because
it has to be.
Yeah, that's
it
gotta be
has
the
to be
reasoning.
steroids.
maybe you could say
Colby has 6 fighters better than John Jones, huh? Jesus.
maybe you could say like that some of his fights were close, like Dominic Reyes, Gustafsson, those were
Yeah.
close. But I don't know, man.
Thiago
That's
Santos
kinda-
was close.
Yeah, Thiago Santos
Yeah,
even.
absolutely. Mark, number 7.
So my number 7, I have Stipe, and I'm just saying what I have on my list. I'm not going to change the list really right
Yeah.
now
You're good, man.
because for some reason I have Kamaru above Stipe
Mhm.
right now, but right now I got Stipe at number 7.
Okay. Austin?
You got Silva.
You have Anderson Silva
I
at
have
7.
Anderson Silva at 7.
I have Demetrius Johnson at 7.
I like that.
My reasoning for Demetrius Johnson is one, he got knocked out, or he got beaten by Cejudo, and he didn't have a level of competition for a long time. Besides that, he's the greatest flyweight ever. He went undefeated for like 7 years, and he was pound for pound number 1 for like 2 of them. So
I think Dodson was pretty badass.
Dodson's up there.
So was
He
Joseph
beat Benavidez.
twice.
And Wilson Race was really good. Hussier Formiga was really good.
Yeah, for me.
But even then, all these guys are still B levels. No disrespect to them. In the grand scheme of all these people we're
The
talking about.
division took a long time to
It
get where
absolutely
it
did.
is now.
And it's still struggling. They
Yeah.
have 3 or 4 guys that are really good, but it's still struggling for that 5 to 15.
Now it has that spotlight though, because to be honest with you,
Right.
until like 3 years ago, I never heard of Demetrius Johnson. I was like,
Yeah.
who the fuck is Demetrius
Right, you
Johnson?
never heard of him?
No, not until like the first ad I saw of him was like the most dominant flyweight of all time. I'm like, who's that guy?
That flying armbar. when
Here's
he
the
jumps
last.
off.
Here's
It's
the
crazy.
last
Yeah, it was beautiful.
thing that puts Demetrius Johnson low for me. He got traded straight up for Ben Askren.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's rough. Not really. I'm joking around.
He was like what, at some type of conflict with the UFC or something.
Yeah, he
Dana White
wanted to
did not
get
like
paid. He's getting paid more in one now than he ever did in UFC.
Getting knocked out by getting in the face.
Right, which is crazy.
Mm.
All right, so you just said that you have Usman above Stipe. So I'll ask you: do you have Usman at 6?
Yeah, I have Usman at
All
6.
right, so you have Usman at 6. What puts Usman a little above Stipe for you?
So now that I'm thinking about it, it was the record that he's built up. But looking back at what Stipe's been able to do in the heavyweight division against the most fucking lethal dudes in the UFC, who can just take your head off, he's been able to weather storms, man. He's been able to beat DC 2 times and knock him out one of those times.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been a totally dominant fucking champ,
Right?
especially recently.
Dominant over time in one of the toughest divisions.
I can see Stipe being below Usman. I'm looking at it now, and I can totally see it. I mean, we know Stipe is the greatest heavyweight ever, and we know he has this resume to him. Stipe's been knocked out twice.
Yeah.
And I get that's part of being in the heavyweight division.
Ngannou
and Cormier.
DC caught him with that uppercut.
But that is something. He's been knocked out twice.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it. I'm just questioning.
No, yeah, I totally get that. Kamaru Usman, too, is, I guess the reason he's above Stipe is just the losses.
Usman will be above him.
So you have Silva at 7. Is that because of his last 8 fights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like, he should honestly be higher, but
Higher meaning closer to 5 or
no, closer to 10.
yeah, okay.
Just because the
you
back
have
end of his career, but
you have Cormier at 9 and Usman at 8. Do you think Silva should be below either of those or both of those?
I put Usman above him. I put Usman above Silva.
You have here Usman at 8
Yeah, no, I would
You
swap those.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? I think. Yeah, it is what it is. That's my list.
Yep, gotcha. All right, 6. Colby has Stipe.
That's totally fair.
That's fair.
Totally fair.
He actually made a good pick.
Dylan also has Stipe at 6.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure also have Stipe at 6.
Guess what I got?
You have
I have
Stipe.
Stipe at 6. I think a dominant run. In one of the toughest
So all
divisions.
5 of us have Stipe at 6, barring you have Stipe at 7.
Yeah, that's my original list. I did the little switch around, but if I'm staying true to the list, I have Stipe at 7, Kamaru Usman at 6.
So that's pretty.
But you
fucking
would
close
swap
for all of
them.
Yeah, with this discussion that we've had, and I totally forgot. Heavyweight's fucking lethal.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Baddest man on the
Heavyweight's
planet.
lethal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Baddest man on the planet.
Any one punch, anytime. Derek Lewis versus Alexander Volkov.
Right. All right, so we're about to get into the top 5. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching MMA Complete Podcast. Go check out nakedsports.com for all information on Yard Olympics, and go check out the new article by myself, and we're probably going to be putting a couple other people's lists for the top GOATs of all time in the UFC. So go check out nakedsports.com. Check out all the other content on Naked Sports. Go check out fansonlysports.com.
Check out our Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter at complete_MMA, and follow us on YouTube
We're getting more into
at
Twitter.
MMA Complete Podcast. So yeah, definitely go check out our Twitter at Complete MMA. Post a lot more. It's a pretty good follow. So we will be right back. Thank everybody for tuning in. Top 5 coming up next. All right, top 5.
Here we go.
Bread and butter. I would like some lengthy conversations about this.
Totally.
Colby at number 5 has Mighty Mouse.
Just send out a tweet.
So,
Real quick, before we get into it, because these guys aren't here, so they don't get.
we gotta.
They
we
don't
gotta
get the
them their
attention.
Speaking point.
Yeah.
Dylan at 5 has Shevchenko. I'm not mad at it.
She's a beast, and
Not
she
mad
could
at
be
it.
even better in this future, man.
All right, Mark, lay it on me.
So number 5. All right. After the discussion that we've had, about Demetrius Johnson,
Mhm.
like, and a lot of good points brought up about why he was great, but not GOAT level. It's just, I had Khabib at number 5. I'd say I'd switch that with Demetrius Johnson now.
You're putting Mighty Mouse at 5?
I might have to put Mighty Mouse at 5.
Got you. At my 5, I have the Lioness, Amanda Nunes.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Whoa.
Who do you have at your 5, Austin?
At my number 5, I have Amanda Nunes.
Really? Why so? Can I ask you to?
Yep.
Why so low on the list?
For me,
Yeah.
Personally, it's because the 4 people I have on my list are, and no disrespect to Amanda Nunes, because she's the greatest woman of all time. And
Yeah.
she has built up the fucking track record, and no one can touch her. And she's beaten the second best woman of all time twice.
And she fluctuates.
And she's beat Cyborg and Rousey, who are the
Holmes.
2 other highest people on my top
Shevchenko.
50.
And she makes it look
The-
easy.
The top 4 in my list are non-negotiable.
Okay.
That's all it is to me. The top 4, I think, are above everybody else. And it's not even the fact that they're just so good. It's the fact that the order I have them in
It's perfect.
is the exact order I would have them in.
I'm gonna come out and just say it. Competition.
Competition is
competition-wise,
somewhat a factor.
She has had, for the woman,
She-
she's had the cream
She's
of the
had
crop.
the best.
Yeah,
but I'm
she's
talking
beat them.
competition wise
Right. She just
in the
fought Megan
levels
Anderson.
of difference.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's-
like,
right.
She's kind of running out of
you know what I
competitors
mean.
to face.
It's
Um,
totally a fair argument.
Yeah, I just think men, the competition wise, is just so much greater.
There's more. The divisions in men divisions are more plentiful. And because
there
of
are
that-
more divisions,
Right. And because of that, you get newer contenders, whereas Nunes
Quicker.
is fighting
easier.
6th and 7th ranked people because she's beaten all the top 5 already.
And that's,
it's part
that's
of
a
an
good.
argument.
That's a good point, though,
It's part
It
of an
is.
to
argument.
benefit Nunez. Like, who else you got other than Kamaru Usman doing that right now? Like, well,
Right.
even then, he's got to fight Edwards still. He still has to
But
rematch
that is something
Kobe.
I would take away from
Adesanya's kinda
Nunes,
doing it right
because Nunes, to her credit, has beaten Shevchenko twice, but she hasn't beaten anyone else twice. Like
No,
Juliana Pena, Carlos Esparza are both in the top 5, and they haven't fought Amanda Nunes in like 3-4 years because she's fighting everybody else.
I think it's yet to come. That's the thing with her.
I think so
That's-
too.
That's
And you know what? If Amanda Nunes beats a couple more people, if she beats Shevchenko a 3rd time, and she beats Pena, and she beats
gotta who knows
people I'm
else, yeah.
forgetting,
Fucking
then she will be in my top 3.
the up and comers too. They're
Right.
the next generation of fighters coming up, and the
Right.
women's divisions are fucking insane.
Absolutely. You got Miranda Maverick coming up.
Yeah.
Yao Xiaonan lost a bad fight, but she'll probably be back. I think she will be title contention worthy one day. You got all these fighters that are coming up, but right now, Amanda Nunes is the fucking best, and it's not close.
Jan John.
All right. So we're getting into it, boys. Number 4 all time. Dylan at number 4 has Amanda Nunes.
I could see that.
Colby at number 4 has Anderson Silva. For the record, at number 4, I also have Anderson Silva.
I have Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Khabib. I'm looking here. Oh, no, you haven't. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm like, who the fuck do you have?
Just double Khabib.
Demetrius Johnson.
You have Mighty Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, all of our top 5 are the same people, in just a different order.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pose different questions. Why do you think Mighty Mouse is better than Amanda Nunes?
Like I hate to say it again, but competition wise, man, I just think nothing against women or anything. I just think like he has proven himself in different ways that like.
It's interesting you say that, and I hear your point.
But
and it's-
competition wise for men, I mean, with women for Amanda Nunes, it's fucking like she should almost fight. Like she could probably
Henderson.
beat up.
we're still pushing that in our top 5
You
list.
know, but
I would
yeah,
I would say that Amanda Nunes has a higher level of competition than Mighty Mouse. Personally, I
think-
just think that.
I think I agree with you, Zach.
yeah.
You could Totally, and I would make the argument
I
that
mean, is
Mighty
Ronda
Mouse had a
Rousey-
longer run than Nunes.
I
Mighty
mean-
Mouse was undefeated for like 8 years, and Nunes is only out like
Like
5 years.
16 fights that she's won.
I mean,
I
is
think.
Ronda Rousey big competition when she can't do
At the
anything
time,
on her
it fucking
feet?
was absolutely
Not on her feet.
She
though.
had she had
with
a
Amanda
knockout on
Nunes.
her
Amanda
record,
Nunes
but-
is the perfect
right. But
formula. For
if you look at that
Ronda
fight,
Rousey.
yes, Ronda Rousey was bad standing up, but Amanda Nunes also stuffed like 4 takedowns from Rousey,
Amanda
who is
Nunes
a
is really good on the
judo
ground.
world champion and a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah, I mean, but she's beaten black belts past Rousey.
No, absolutely.
Rousey was just ahead of her time.
she's
I
got.
She was ahead of her time.
Nunez has 14 wins in the UFC, or is that 14 straight?
She
Well,
lost. She lost the fight in Bellator. You
I was
can't
gonna
forget that.
no, I think she lost
She's
one
got
in UFC.
12 fights straight in the UFC.
She lost to Kat Zingano. Is
She's-
that right?
Yeah, she lost to Katzingano, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only UFC loss.
Mhm.
And personally, I see not UFC as not top tier fighters and still an adjusting period for a fighter
Right.
to enter their stage of greatness. That's why I kind of don't hold. I don't hold that so highly
Mhm.
as a loss in Amanda Nunes' record, just like I don't hold it so highly on Kamaru Usman's.
So a little bit of, I'll say my piece on Anderson Silva real quick. Before John Jones was the GOAT, was the greatest, has the second longest winning streak in UFC history at 16, and they were all 15.
List
15
off some
them.
of those names, Zach,
15
because
of them
they are
were
some
for the championship.
fucking names.
You could start whatever you want to say. Chris Lieben, Rich Franklin twice, Nate Marquardt, Yushin Okami, Vitor Belfort twice,
Did he beat
Chael Sonnen
Lyoto
twice.
Machida?
No, he never fought
didn't.
Lyoto
Lyoto
Machida.
was Bellator. Yeah.
No,
They
Lyoto
haven't
Machida
fought.
was light
Yeah,
heavyweight.
Yeah, but
They were both champions at the same time in UFC.
he went to Bellator.
He did, yeah. He
Sorry, I'm on my
beat
phone.
Nick
I'm tweeting.
Diaz. He beat Derek Brunson. Not Nick. Was it Nick?
Yeah, it was.
No, it was a no contest against Nick. He won the fight, but then they both got popped.
Damn, that's another thing I forgot about Anderson.
Yeah, he did get popped.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
He got popped after tearing his ACL or breaking his leg and tearing his ACL.
In a time where
He was
he was
39
doing it
years
for
old.
recovery. He
No,
said,
no,
which
that-
Right.
I
yeah.
kind of get.
That's when I kind of like not side with them, but I'm kind of just like, yeah, maybe they should be allowed for recovery.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe,
I'm all in favor of that. If you want to juice up, as long as you tell the UFC like I'm juicing up now, and then you get a 6-month medical suspension or an 8 months medical suspension.
I would agree with you, Zach, but the science behind testosterone and what it can do to your body in the long term,
Right.
like let's say
It's almost for the fighter's benefit
Yeah.
not to take it at that point.
it lasts longer. And on top of it, like Vitor, when he came off, you saw how fucking terrible he
TRT
got.
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if you do take testosterone through your years developing,
Mhm.
you are gonna be a stronger person, even though it's mainly gone. It's just in you. It's
And the other thing about Anderson Silva is in that 16 fight win streak, I don't have the exact number. I can look it up in a second, but I'm pretty sure it's like 13 finishes.
Yeah.
A knockout or submission.
Yeah.
He did it all. He was miles ahead of people when he came into the UFC. He came into the UFC and people were like, what the fuck is this guy?
yeah, that was a
Look
beautiful.
at Overeem, dude.
Overeem was a little different because Overeem was Ubereem in pride.
Yeah.
Overeem was
Roided.
the
Oh.
roid master. And then he got to the UFC and he was 20 pounds lighter and he was all right. He never won the championship. He was a different
Deflated.
species, though. He was a different species.
Deflated after
Dude.
USADA.
Fucking Silva has names. He's got
Oh my
Chris
God,
Lieben,
he's-
Rich Franklin, Nate Marquette, Dan Hendo, Rich Franklin again, fucking Forrest Griffin, Damian Maya, good Damian Maya, by the way, like
Good team.
yeah, good
Yeah.
Damian Maya,
You
good
ever seen
Chael
the
Sonnen.
knockout of when he knocked out Forrest Griffin?
Damian
Forrest
Maya?
Griffin? No.
No, okay,
Anderson Silva.
yeah, yeah, that was beautiful.
Forrest Griffin was like throwing shots at him and Anderson's just backing up, swaying away, and then he
Yeah.
just goes like that, knocks him out.
See, what,
Forrest Griffin goes on the ground and he's like doing
Yeah.
this.
I think, yeah, he probably got knocked out in training. Like when you see a guy get knocked out from a jab, you're like, yeah, this. Guy
Well, he'd
definitely
been knocked
has
down
some
twice already in the fight.
Yeah.
That's part of
okay,
it, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But after that fucking streak of just straight animals, like at least 6, 7 greats, he really had the plummet.
Yeah, he did. So I didn't want to say this yet because I have a feeling who your number 3 is.
Me?
Yeah,
I think
Okay,
we're all. I think we're all around. the same.
it's Anderson, right?
No, it's Amanda Nunes.
Did you already? Oh, you already said Silva. I missed that. Never mind. All right, so you have Khabib at 4.
Yeah,
that is
Khabib
the
at
first
4.
sighting of Khabib.
And by the way, I'm gonna be the first one to say, I'm not a huge fucking Khabib guy. You know,
I'm not either.
You were.
But when
now
he was making me money,
Yeah,
but, right? That's when I liked Khabib. But
Right.
like the way he won his fights, it was very dominant. But the breadth of fighters who are also fucking great fighters. You get Tuskegee, Connor, Poirier. You get all those fucking guys. It's only around like 5 big names.
I would
though.
say he has 5 significant victories in the UFC. That's it.
Like big names. And then after that, you go, who the hell is this guy? And then Gleason to Bao. I watched that fight. I'm not sure if you guys have gotten to watch it. It was another guy who had amazing wrestling defense and pretty good offense, but he was roided, by the way. Just as heavy as Khabib is when he goes to fight at 155. Khabib drops like 30 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
And he decimated Khabib. Like, I don't know how the judges scored unanimously for Khabib.
That's interesting.
I want you guys to watch that fight on YouTube because he took Khabib down twice and outstruck him on the cards.
And that's very interesting.
And that fight still went to Khabib. And I've gotten into so many arguments online and people just call me fucking stupid. But when I see a man get taken down twice and outpunched, sure, he had more pressure against the cage, but he didn't land a single takedown on Tabao.
It was a unanimous decision at UFC 258, July 7, 2012. Gleason Tabao had 28 strikes and 1 takedown to Khabib's 25 strikes and 0 takedowns. I wonder if we can see
It might have been
the
a
actual
slip instead of a
stats on
takedown
it.
for the second
All right,
one.
so Khabib was 0 for 13 on takedowns. Tabao was 1 for 6.
Wow, when did you find this little gem?
I looked it up.
Gleason Tabao also had a better strike percentage. Here's the thing, though. Khabib had 4.5 minutes of control time to
On the
Tabao's
cage.
17 seconds.
It's on the cage that saved Khabib, I guess.
That's the only... Wow, that is very interesting,
That's
Mark.
big to me.
Very big.
And Joe Rogan even said, commentating, he's
Body?
like, "Well, Khabib just lost," and then he went, "Whoa!" they gave it to Khabib.
Wow, that's very, very, very interesting.
Hmm.
Mario Yamasaki was the ref. Just saying. Not only did he win, but he got 30-27s from all 3 judges for this.
30, 20.
Now that is questionable.
4.5 minutes of control time is something.
That's big, but look at the punches and a
25
takedown.
to 101 and 28 to 87.
No, Tabao won every single category except for control time. Every single one. Takedown percentage, total strikes, significant strikes, percentage, all of them.
But Khabib must have got him on his back if he had more
No.
control time.
He
So
didn't.
you're saying because he should have lost to Tabao, he's now 4 instead of 3? Is that what you're saying?
Not
I'm
really.
just
No,
kidding.
but like that's something that I always bring up when people bring up Khabib.
No,
like that's
super
why
interesting.
I'm
I
not
can't
on
believe
the
you've never
whole.
said it before. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's why I'm not on the whole Khabib undefeated god. You know, because I watched that fight and I saw him undefeated.
I'm about to talk about Khabib, so I won't say anything yet. I was just getting your opinion.
But I think
Yeah.
he's a great fighter and he deserves a spot on this list.
Yeah.
Especially since
Yeah,
every
I
other
think you're
fight
right, yeah.
other than that, it's really just
The
been.
man's
All right.
29 and 0
So-
at the end of the day.
So
Like,
Colby,
regardless of what
I
happened
count.
in that
I
fight.
count as UFC wins.
Yeah, he's
So-
still 29.
Colby has Khabib at 3.
I got Khabib at 3.
Dylan has Usman at 3. Wait,
That is crazy.
I messed up.
Oh, Zach.
What?
I messed up. How did I mess this up?
I don't know. Tell me.
I told you that Dylan had Stipe at 6, and I was wrong because he has Stipe at 12. Dylan has Khabib at 6.
Wow.
That is shocking to me.
That is shocking.
loves
Dylan
Khabib.
has his own sweatshirt.
Dylan has a Khabib sweatshirt, yeah. So Dylan has Khabib at 6.
Maybe he holds that champ status pretty high.
I don't know.
Something.
We'll definitely have to ask him. All right, so Dylan has Nunes at. We already said that. Dylan has Usman at 3.
Okay. I have Nunez at 3.
Mark has Nunes at 3. Austin has
Khabib.
Khabib at 3. I have Khabib at 3.
Oh, sorry.
So that is 3 Khabibs at number 3.
Well, we got to speak for Dylan right now. Usman at 3.
Usman at 3 is super. I think Dylan is looking at potential.
Potential for sure.
And we tried to make this not a potential. We tried to make this right now list. I'm not mad at him.
No.
Usman's 19 and 1.
I would have totally
He
put
has
him
a
earlier.
12-fight win streak.
considering potential.
If Usman has the perfect career, he can go past GSP.
He could if he moves up.
If John Jones never loses, can he go past John Jones?
No.
Serious
Yeah,
question?
yeah, he can
Yeah.
by getting that heavyweight belt.
No, I'm saying, can Usman overpass John Jones if John Jones doesn't
Well,
lose?
depends. Does he move up a belt?
If Kamaru Usman never loses,
Kamaru Usman won't move up a belt because him and Adesanya are boys.
Kamaru Usman's older than John Jones.
Yep.
That's
Dude,
fucking
John
nuts.
Jones is only 32.
That's fucking nuts.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
John Jones is 32.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's in his prime.
Yes.
And he's going to heavyweight.
Yes. Now you get it.
He's going to
John
heavyweight.
Jones was light heavyweight champ at 23 years old.
Dude.
We are 23 right now. John
Dude.
Jones was the fucking champion of the world.
Bro, what if this dude
Teardrop.
didn't hit and run somebody? What if this dude didn't
Ever
you
do
know,
cocaine?
do cocaine? What if he didn't do the dick pills? Like what?
I think he did steroids, but
at the end of the day, dude,
it is amazing.
the
what
guy
he's been
could
able to
be
do.
so much greater than he actually is, and that is
He could be a triple
crazy.
champ.
Imagine if when he was on a tear and if you said John Jones' name, people were cowering.
Right.
Like if he just went, I'm fucking moving up.
We're talking about resume. We haven't even gotten into. We're not talking about John
Yeah.
Jones. We're talking about Kamaru Usman at 3. I think it's too high. Dylan, I think, is looking at potential, but Usman, no one's beating Usman right now. He's
Yeah.
pound for pound #1 in the world right now.
Yeah, because you can't hate it.
You can't hate it.
No.
He is one of the best. Honestly, I have Usman at 8. So do you. I think that's kind of low.
I
I
think
could
it's
put him
kind-
above. I could put him above Mighty Mouse in my list.
I could put him above.
I wouldn't put him above Stipe.
I put
Yeah,
him above
that's fair.
Silva.
I
Like
wouldn't
said,
put
I
him
would.
above Stipe, but I would put him above Mighty Mouse on my list.
Right now, currently, 6 to 8.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I
his
think. He
range.
is. Yeah, which is really good for someone who's still in their fucking prime and champion right now.
Prime champion, he can pick who he wants to face.
Yeah,
It should be Kobe.
it should.
It
and
should be Kobe.
I think he might be kind of
It should
turning a
be
little
Kobe.
tail towards
And
Kobe
since
right
we're
now.
on that subject, how many wins do you think
Are we-
Kobe
are we
Covington
gonna-
has?
Do an intermission, like real quick, and just
No.
talk about this fight.
Nope.
No. What
We're
Kobe-
going right into this because
what-
what he's about to say is so fucking
What?
interesting.
How many wins do you think Kobe Covington has against current welterweights in the division?
In the top 15.
In the top
Current
15.
welterweights,
Yeah. in the top
Right
15.
now, the welterweight top 15 rankings. How many people have lost to Kobe?
call it 3.
0.
Not even. Oh well, Tyron's out. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Dos
the other-
Anjos is the other one, but he's in lightweight now.
Mm.
Isn't that wild?
Rafael Dos Anjos is in lightweight?
Mhm.
Forgot about that.
Mhm.
That's kind of nuts. Kobe's done good advertising.
Yeah. That's
Right.
what I mean. That's what he
Right.
said. That's what he said.
Yeah,
I,
exactly. He also did fucking good against Usman, though. It's not
Really?
like he got shit on by Usman.
he gave him like, what was it? Was it a
He
fight of
won
the
2
year?
rounds.
Was it a
No,
fight of the year?
no,
No,
it
it was
wasn't fight of the year.
definitely fight of the night.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
But it was that's good enough reason to have put the dog against the other dog again.
Yeah, I would say.
Good fight.
All right, number 2. Colby has Amanda Nunes. Dylan has George St. Pierre.
I have John Bones Jones.
Mark has John Jones at number 2. Austin?
GSP.
I also have GSP at 2.
So you guys, I get it. I think it's a very big possibility that GSP was on words, but
I don't think so at all. I think he
it's
was
a
the
possibility.
earliest. He was the earliest advocate for
against
Olympic
it, along
testing.
with
against US
Michael Bisping.
Against USADA.
Yeah, Smith Bisping up there too.
The reason though is just because you might want Olympic testing, that's a very good cover up
Yeah,
to possibly
I
doing
hear
drugs.
you.
But I'm just conspiracy theorying,
I hear
and
you.
GSP is my number 1. But
It's the number 1.
I factor in that non-steroid piss hot so heavily in MMA, especially when you let's say DC wasn't doing steroids, John Jones doing steroids. John Jones technically beat him, like technically,
Right.
he defeated him.
It's technically a no contest.
Yeah. But it was very technical fight for John Jones that
Until
put
he
Stipe
knocked
out.
him the fuck out.
Like he said how he was going to knock him out, and he did exactly that.
Those PEDs can make a fucking difference, and if
Mhm.
you've been taking those PEDs for your career, who knows how long until you pissed hot that
Right.
they made you greater. And like I said earlier, with testosterone, when you take it for longer, it's not just gonna make you, unless you're loading like Vitor was, watery steroids.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take away too much. You might have a lower fucking like sex drive and shit.
Right.
but it's building you up. You're built up physically, and even brain chemicals, they get altered. So steroids make a huge difference for me, but I do think John Bones Jones would be number one without that pot.
I think right now I'm just going to make an argument for why GSP. I think GSP is better than Khabib Nurmagomedov because of the level of competition GSP had. I also think that GSP has had a belt in 2 different weight classes, and that is the thing that sends it over the edge for me. I think that
an old Mike Bisping and an old Matt Hughes.
Not an old. Matt Hughes was 34 at the time.
Yeah, he wasn't too old. But if you want to talk about that, we can talk about Matt Serra the second time, John Fitch, BJ Penn twice. We can talk about Carlos Condit. We can talk about Johnny Hendricks.
Yeah,
the list goes on.
I'm just making.
Right.
I'm
I totally hear
critiquing
what
the
you're
guy
saying.
out of
At
almost
the time,
a perfect career.
The dudes he was fighting, the most well-rounded MMA fighters at the time. Josh Koscheck too. He was fucking Olympic, not Olympic wrestler, but NCAA. Yeah, Division I. GSP had never wrestled until he was fucking 19.
Right.
And took him down the entire fight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
GSP, in my mind, is the most well-rounded UFC fighter of all time.
Yeah.
Cardinal, yeah.
For Colby's point, he has Amanda Nunes at 2. Can't hate it. Greatest woman of all time.
Yeah.
Colby, I will say, has GSP at 1 because he has John Jones at 7. You want to talk about you're taking steroids into too much play. Colby, Jesus.
Fuck John Jones. Is taking ass.
I mean, we're just going to say it. Me, Dylan, and Austin all have John Jones at 1. And you and Colby have GSP at 1.
If he didn't piss hot, I'd have John Jones at 1.
If he didn't, right.
I get where you guys are coming from totally.
27 fights, 1 bullshit loss. That should at most be a no contest.
He did the thing you do to truckers on that guy's face.
John Jones has the greatest resume in UFC history. Yeah. He's really not close. He was champ. He's youngest champ ever, and he's defended the belt 15 to 16 times. Some ridiculous shit.
Yeah, I think it's 15.
He's 32 years old. He's going up to heavyweight. He did all this by the time he was 30 years old that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It's absolutely nuts.
It's kind of mind-boggling.
And then you look at the fact that, like, genetically, he's an anomaly. 85-inch reach.
Yeah. Those
what
fucking
the
arms.
Fuck?
His leg reach is huge.
85-inch reach is over 7 feet. Your reach is supposed to be, like, just about your height.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah. Look at his brothers, man.
It's ridiculous. His brother led the NFL in sacks twice. His other brother is a Pro Bowler in the NFL.
Those are fucking some genes he's got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chandler Jones is a beast, man.
John Jones, also an NCAA Division I champion wrestler.
Yeah, he's an amazing wrestler.
He's the greatest spinning back fist person in the UFC ever.
Consistently, yeah.
He's the first person to take down Daniel Cormier ever. He also knocked out Daniel Cormier. First person to knock out Daniel Cormier. The drug tests. Now, if we want to talk about just from a fighter perspective, what he did with the hit and run on the pregnant woman is obviously awful, but I don't really consider that.
It's not a fighter. It has nothing to do with it.
Right, exactly. So it's just the two drug tests that he failed. One of them was positive for cocaine. The other one is rumored to be what it's about. John Jones said it was dick pills. Most people say it's PEDs. I don't know either way. Could it be PEDs? Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it because if John Jones got tested for PEDs, Dana White is doing everything in his power to make sure that never gets out.
Yeah, totally. That's
absolutely
that's secret.
But John Jones, it's the eye test for me. That's what separates John Jones and GSP. It's the eye test. John Jones is the greatest ever.
That's totally fair. I totally get that. Because he would have been my pick if not for the steroid busting.
Yeah.
And GSP, everybody loves him here. Fucking
right.
Close number 2.
Close number 2.
Yeah.
Close.
Very close.
If it wasn't for the losses, this would be teeth grindingly hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the only person that has a chance of getting past GSP or Jones right now that's not retired, so I'm not speaking Khabib, is Usman.
Yeah.
I think Khabib still has a chance though if he comes back and
No,
wins
if
a
he
couple
does come
fights.
back,
If
but
he,
he's retired
if
now.
he
He's not
comes
in the
back
UFC.
and wins a couple at the lightweight and then moves up,
Can
'cause
you
he's
fucking
gotta-
imagine a Khabib versus Usman fight?
I
Can
think
you imagine?
Khabib would
No.
lose. Khabib
Dude.
would lose bad.
What about Usman versus GSP?
That's a dream fight.
I don't think
That's like,
GSP would ever take that fight.
that's such a
I
big
don't
That
think
is a
GSP would ever
fight.
take that
in
fight.
his current age. That's not.
I don't think
the move.
GSP. I don't think we ever see GSP fight again.
No, he's,
If it would have happened, it would have been him versus
well,
Khabib, and it would have been like 4
he's
months
above
ago.
40, Zach, and look at what Anderson Silva's not where GSP
Right.
is because
And
he fought
GSP
past
said
that.
it. GSP said it years ago. He was like, "No, why would I want to be a guy?" And I'm trying to do a GSP impression.
Pretty
which is,
good. It's pretty good.
Why would I want to be a guy fighting in a cage when I'm 40 years old? I'm gonna be a grown man, but
Yeah.
He said that
he's
he
doing
doesn't
paleontology.
he is.
Yeah.
He is.
He's doing whatever the hell he wants to do.
Whatever the fuck he wants
Whatever
to
he
do.
wants to do.
All right, so we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to kind of grind out a top 15 combined list from all of ours. So we'll be right back. Check out Naked Sports, Fans Only Sports. Go follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA and our YouTube at MMA Complete Podcast.
Dude.
It does.
It does. All right, so for the MMA top goats, I like
The top-
that. I like that.
Yeah, the top
Oh.
goats.
The top goats.
We are going to do like what? We're gonna combine like all. Of what
Yeah,
we
we're going to
think.
combine all of our lists.
Let's save it for when the list is finished and then list it from 15 to 1.
All right. While I'm doing this, do you guys want to talk about coming up in a week and a half? We got Connor versus Poirier. Or
Oh,
a week and 2 days, really.
We
You guys
can
want
talk
to
about that. I'm fucking disgusted with myself for fucking planning an event and missing this.
Yeah,
Honest to God.
yeah.
But
Well, that's shame on you.
yeah, well, it was
That's
just,
shame on you.
dude, I planned it 2 months ago.
Wow,
Of course it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm not gonna leave Robbie to go to Pennsylvania by himself.
But yeah, who do you got?
I got Conor
McGregor.
McGregor.
Dude. I got McGregor, dude. And wanna know who else has Conor McGregor?
Who?
GSP came out yesterday. Said McGregor, by TKO second round.
Imagine GSP is just trying to fuck with the odds.
He might
Yeah.
be. Conor McGregor is now the
GSP's
underdog.
putting $200,000 on fucking Poirier.
He could. Well, he didn't work out pretty good for him because McGregor's on the underdog.
Yeah, I think
Even
McGregor.
Steven.
I think McGregor's gonna take this fight, dude, by knockout.
Yeah, I think Poirier says he came out the other day and tweeted that he's going to try and take him to the ground.
Diversion tactic.
You think?
I think so because I think he knows what Conor was able to do last time. There's no way he went into that first fight and just said, "I'm gonna calf kick him, and it is my key to victory."
Yeah.
You know he didn't. He was like, "Oh shit, this fucked him up."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't the whole game plan. Like he tried to take McGregor down. He did take McGregor down,
Yeah.
and McGregor got up pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
And
No,
did it
I
happen
agree.
twice? It might have happened twice. So I think Conor can defend the takedowns of Poirier. And I'm gonna stand by what I've said. Takes the center of the octagon, fixes his stand, is led on the fucking lead foot again.
Yeah.
It changes the game.
I think when it comes to fighting off their back foot and front foot, I think McGregor just loses both. Like I think if Poirier tries to put the pressure on McGregor and he does stuff to takedowns and he keeps trying to take him down, I think Poirier will get rocked.
Can I interrupt real quick? Do you not have Jose Aldo on your top 15?
I don't.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Good. I also think that Conor McGregor can rock Poirier. Just saying.
I think they both rock each other.
Yeah.
But I got to pick for the more consistent ability to knock somebody out. It's gonna be Conor.
Will I be surprised if McGregor loses? No, obviously not. He did just lose, and I'm surprised the numbers are what they are right now. Speaking of what just happened, do I think calf kicks play as big of a part as they did? No way. No way. Not even close.
I agree with you there.
Does McGregor kick more.
I'd hope to see it, and if he does change stances, dude, he might go back to McGregor throwing spinning kicks and fucking head kicks and shit.
I think that is the key to victory for him, is to be that flamboyant, like out of the box style. Because I think that works for his punches.
Mhm.
I think that makes his punches better.
Yeah, it really throws you off on what's coming. Is it a long kick? You know, I don't want to get caught upside the head, so I'm going to put my guard up and get up straight right to the chin.
Clinch is going to be interesting too, because we've seen McGregor against the fence, and
He's good.
he's not bad. Like, his defense is good. Knees, I think knees are going to be important because against the fence for him, because he is taller than him.
I saw a takedown from Joe Lauzon fight. I was just watching that compilation. And one thing I don't see a lot of wrestlers do that I would expect more, when they're up against the cage, getting pushed against the cage in a clinch, and an opponent throws a knee at their face, they don't fucking underhook the leg like they could. Like, when a leg comes up like that, you can grab that thing. And if you're a wrestler and you got a strong grip on the head, you got the curl, you can pick him up and dump him.
Yeah, it's hard to do that though when you get fucking kneed right in the
Well,
dome
if it
piece.
catches you, but we don't see it attempted. In turn, more for the defense of the knee. That's why it happens so little. But it's a good takedown.
All right, you guys ready?
You good?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All
Zach.
set with the averages. Of all 5 of the MMA Complete Crew's top 15s of UFC GOATs of all time, honorable mention is Chuck Liddell.
Really, he's out of the top
He's out of
15.
the top 15.
Wow.
Okay.
At 15, we have a tie between Matt Hughes and Cain Velasquez.
Okay.
No more ties after that.
Okay, cool.
At 14, Israel Adesanya.
Really?
Damn, I didn't even have him.
Was not on my top 15.
Yeah, that's crazy because he was low on my top 15.
Number 13 is not on my top 15 either. Henry Cejudo.
Okay.
At 13. At number 12, Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah.
That one, that's tough for me. But I'm not mad at it because number 11 is Jose Aldo.
They're around the same.
But after seeing Jose Aldo have that fucking remembrance of that streak, like,
yeah,
I get it.
Number 10 is Conor McGregor.
Perfect.
Perfect for me.
Pretty good.
Number 9 is Daniel Cormier.
I like that.
But I'll take it.
He could have taken the 10 spot if McGregor wasn't there.
Yeah.
Number 8 is Kamaru Usman.
I think
I agree with that.
I want to say Cormier. I think Cormier is better than Aldo, so I like that.
Number 7 is Anderson Silva.
The Spider.
Number 6 is Stipe Miocic.
Miocic.
Number 5 is Demetrius Johnson.
Okay.
Number 4 is Khabib. Number 3 is Amanda Nunes. Number 2 is George St. Pierre. Number 1 is John Jones.
It's a good list, people.
That's a pretty good list.
It's a pretty good.
It is.
List.
I think the only one that I don't like, just personally, is Cejudo. I don't think Cejudo's top 15, but I can see it. He's a double champ.
Yeah, compared to like a Liddell, like after Liddell's record, we checked out.
It's kind of wild to me that Liddell's not on it.
But this is why we all made personal lists, so that we can all kind of put it together.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, like, there's
Liddell.
some people that Dylan didn't even have that, like.
You want to know who's surprising that's not on it? Rousey.
Yeah.
Rousey was right behind Liddell. But me and Mark had Rousey at 15, and that was
I had her at
the
16.
mentions. Right.
So.
Other names that were on our top 15s that did not get put in is Ronda Rousey, Randy Couture, Max Holloway, and Dustin Poirier. So those are all in the 25. Maybe Randy Couture isn't, but those are all like top 25 names anyway.
Yeah.
So this is a good list we made. I'm happy with it. I really am.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time.
That was a good topic to do,
It really was.
and it burned. That's
So next week
nice
we're gonna do
hour and a half
boxing.
segment.
No, I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I was about to say,
kidding.
Zach, I am not in that area.
No, me neither. Me neither. Although if you guys want, if we get like 200 likes on this, we'll do boxing.
Fury Wilder. I got Wilder. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I got Fury.
I know Fury's gonna win, but Wilder, the number man.
This is
What is it?
this is
Plus 240.
interesting to me. So let's
One punch.
let's say it right now, because I don't like the fact that there's a tie. Matt Hughes or Cain Velasquez at 15. I would say Matt Hughes. I'd say Matt Hughes.
I think I'd have to say Matt Hughes, just because Cain Velasquez. Let's say if he was in a different weight class, he could have had a better record. But heavyweights, so fucking lethal that he couldn't rack up the numbers.
If
like
you
Hughes
look at
could.
the records, Cain Velasquez's total record is 14-3. Matt Hughes is 46-9.
That's pretty impressive. I like
I'll choose Matt
there.
Hughes just because of that. I was gonna say Cain Velasquez, but because of that record number wise, yeah. So,
But when you look at the fact that they almost have the exact same amount of title fights,
you can put Rousey there too.
all right.
Rousey. Man, if she
And then-
wouldn't have
and
had
then
those
Holloway.
2 fights to finish her off,
I think it's Holloway.
You think Holloway's next?
Can I say some names that I haven't said yet in my top 50?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go. Just go around.
yeah, just
Go around.
read your top 50.
Go to 15 to 30.
This is Zach Drapo's personal top 50 list.
Yeah.
Starting after 15.
16, Daniel Cormier. 17, Max Holloway. 18, Adesanya. 19, Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
20, Dominic Cruz.
I like that.
21, Robert Whitaker.
The Bobby Knuckles. I'm a big fan of Robbie. It was hard not putting him on the list.
22, Charles Oliveira. 23, Frank Mir.
Right there.
24, Henry Cejudo. 25, Francis Ngannou. 26, Dustin Poirier. 27, Alexander Volkanovski.
I feel like he should be a little higher, but that's me.
This is a contention one, but I like it and I'm keeping it. 28, Michael Bisping.
I like Mike Bisping.
Mm,
He beat Luke Rockhold and he beat Luke
Dan
Rockhold.
Henderson.
And Dan Hendo, after Dan Hendo, ruined his eyeball.
Oh my God, that is the nastiest knockout I've ever seen in UFC history. The
Yeah.
fucking H-bomb. Holy shit. All right, 29, Chris Cyborg.
Beast.
I don't like this guy.
Very
I
good.
don't like this
Is it
guy.
Tyron Woodley?
No. Oh, you know what? That's a good name I didn't think of. He deserves to be up there.
He's got kind of a
He deserves to fucking be up there. He has 3 title defenses. He was on like an 8-fight win streak.
everybody was calling
At
him
least
soon to be
borderline
the
if he's not
welterweight.
top 50. So that's a great call. Number 30, I have TJ Dillashaw.
CEO of BPO.
Just beating out Shogun Hua at 31.
Really, he beats out Shogun.
Mauricio Shogun Hua.
Nope.
Mauricio.
Mauricio Hua. Yeah, that's my top 30.
That's fucking funny.
Nice.
And then, do you guys mind if I
Keep
just
going. Just keep
run
going.
it off
Fuck
my
it.
top 50?
Yeah, go for it.
Shogun Hua, Lyoto Machida, BJ Penn, Rose Namajunas, Junior Dos Santos, Uriah Faber, Robbie Lawler, Rashad Evans, Brock Lesnar, Tony Ferguson, Randy Couture, Rampage Jackson, Rich Franklin, Jorge Masvidal, Vitor Belfort, Frankie Edgar, Derek Lewis, Tito Ortiz, Dan Henderson, Alistair Overeem.
Devin, those are some I'm in high school names.
Right.
Like I'm in middle school names.
2 borderlines that I wish I could put in my top 50 is Carlos Condit and Fabricio Verdum.
Carlos Condit is good.
Yeah.
Fabricio Verdum too.
At some point, we don't have to make a whole special about it, but at some point, I would like to make another list that is just MMA. It's not UFC. It's just
Oh boy, yeah,
MMA.
we got to do a little research
because
for that.
I want to throw Fedor in there. I want to throw Sakharov in there. I want to throw Vanderlei Silva in there.
Let's look up Fedor's record right now because he's still fighting. By the way, Zach,
Oh, I know he
Like-
is. He's in Bellator.
he's not doing too bad either.
He's in Bellator, right?
Yeah, and
He's
he's
either
not,
Bellator or
he's
Strikeforce.
been the heavyweight champion there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure he just finally lost it to a UFC fighter that came in. But he has
Was
not
it Phil
stopped fighting.
Davis? It wasn't Phil Davis, was it? I'm thinking of someone else.
He has a record 39 wins and 6 losses.
And like the 3 or 4 of the losses were in the first 3 years of his career.
Yeah. And oh my god. Then there's a next page to all the wins.
Yeah. Oh, he had like 23 wins in a row.
I'm gonna list Fedor's wins from the bottom, from what I can get to. Who knows if this website is bonk?
Mhm.
I'm not. No, it's Sure Dog. It's a good website.
Yeah.
So starting with Martin Lazarov in 2000, May
May
So-
2000.
20 years ago,
Mhm.
and this is professional. This is
21 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. This is 21 years ago. professional fight, not amateurs or
Yeah.
anything, or Sambo, which he was before.
Right.
Levon
Boss
Magalov.
Ruin is another name, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
Boss
on.
Ruin
Sorry.
is fucking
I
great,
couldn't
too.
think of his name. I was thinking about the podcast.
Crow Cop.
Pro Cop.
Crow
Right.
Cop's up there.
So, okay, so I'm just going to
Force
list these
Griffin.
off. Ricardo Aruna, just a bunch of randoms. I'll start when we get to the Pride days. Okay. Chris Hazeman, I remember that name. Then it starts going. Semi Schlitt, Keith Haring, Antonio Nogueira.
Antonio Nogueira.
Yeah, I beat him in 2003. Edugis, Voff. So yeah, it's one of those Russians that he fought. Gary Goodridge, you beat him. Yuji Nagata beat him. Mark Coleman beat him.
Mark Coleman.
Yeah. Kevin Randleman beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Naya Agawa, no contest with Nogueira because of a cut. Then he beat Nogueira again. Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. Tsuyoshi Kosaka, Mirko Filipovic. I remember that name. Yeah.
Filipovic.
Yeah, Filipovic. There you go. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wagner da Gonsica Martins. I don't know who that is. But these are all wins, by the way. Mark Coleman again, Mark Hunt, Matt Linland, Tim Sylvia,
Mm-hmm.
Hongman Choi,
Mm-hmm.
Andrei Arlovsky wins.
Oh.
Brett Rogers, just some fucking guy, lost to Fabricio Verdum in 2010.
Yep.
Lost to Antonio Silva in 2010.
Bigfoot. I forgot about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He could be up there. He could be borderline.
And then it keeps going. Jeff Munson, Satoshi Ishii, Pedro Rizzo.
Pedro Hizzo. You
yeah.
fought Pedro Hizzo? Pedro Hizzo was a welterweight in the UFC.
Yeah, he
The
fought
fuck?
him. Jaideep Singh. I think I'm saying that name wrong. He beat Frank Mir. Lost to some guy named Matt Mitrione.
Mitrione?
Beat Chael Sonnen. Jesus, because when Chael
Fedor fought Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, Chael Sonnen fought at heavyweight in Bellator.
Wow.
Think about that shit.
Yo, that's so funny.
Ryan
Can't
Bader
believe I
beat him
never
in
knew that.
2010.
Yeah, Bader beat
I
him.
mean,
Ryan
2019.
Bader's ever since Ryan Bader left the UFC, he's been money for Bellator.
And then
He'll come back
he
one
beat
day.
Rampage.
I think Bader will come back to the UFC one day and have a good career.
A lot of those losses later in the career. Fucking,
That's a long.
he went undefeated 12
list,
years.
bro. That list
Oh,
is fucking
Okay, we got 12 minutes left, and I just thought of the best way to fucking end this. Ready? We're only doing 5 because I don't want to do fucking 15 anymore. 5 people that will be on this list one day. That's fighting right now.
higher on the list or on the list?
People that are not on our top 15, so no Adesanya, no Usman. People that are not on the top 15 that will be on the top 15 one day.
long. Kai Henson,
Okay.
That's a kid
youngest
from our,
fighter.
That's a kid from our school. What's his name?
Kay Henson.
Oh, okay.
He's right, though. He's right, though.
That is a good chick's name.
Yeah, Kay Hansen. I could see it.
Hooper, maybe?
Kevin Holland?
Kevin Holland. That's a good one. Good one.
Maybe.
Um,
Trying to think. Francis.
Nick,
I got
Ngannou?
one. I
Francis
got
Ngannou.
one. Ngannou. I got another one.
Sean O'Malley.
I wasn't going to say O'Malley, but we could put him up there. Jiri Prochazka.
Oh, that
Yeah.
dude is a killer.
Oh, yo, that
He just
guy's got that
fucking
weird
murdered
hairdo
Dominic
going.
Reyes.
Yes,
for
the
him, dude.
samurai.
He's got
Yeah.
The last samurai.
Yeah, the dude has crazy in his eyes.
He's got some anime going on.
How about Cody Garbrandt?
I don't know, man. I think who knows?
What if I
Might
were
be
to
past
tell you
his
that
prime.
he's 27 years old?
He's very young, but who knows how weathered he is?
How about
What about TJ Dillashaw? What about
Okay.
if he comes back and runs that division?
he's up there? I'll throw Dillashaw's name in a maybe. How about
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski? I'll put Volkanovski up. And by the way, we don't have Holloway in our top 15 either.
He could if he beats
He's
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski.
What was I just gonna say? Miranda Maverick.
Mm,
Miranda Maverick.
no.
I'm not gonna throw her on it, but it's for the maybes.
Rose Namajunas.
Rose. So we got Ngannou, Prochazka, Volkanovski, Rose. Holloway could be our 5th.
Islam Makhachev. I see a future in him.
Yeah. Makachev, yeah. I might put Makachev on a couple.
Charles Oliveira.
Fuck yeah, that's another great one. You don't think of Charles Oliveira though. He just doesn't pop in your mind first off. I don't know what that is.
I did not think he was going to win by knockout, man. That surprised the
Our
fuck
best
out of
15 and our next 5. Ngannou, Prochazka, Volkanovski, Rose Namajunas, and Charles Oliveira.
Nice.
Any other names? Any other names we can think about?
Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of who's like rocking it up divisions right now. Kevin Holland is someone that I could see one day if he can fucking wrestle.
This is kind of
I
like
really
the thing. I
think
need
Chase
like the
Hooper
names in front of my face.
He might have a
Chase
chance.
Hooper is
'Cause
one
he's-
because
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
I
so
said
young.
Chase
Yeah.
Hooper, yeah.
He's got promise.
So young, man.
Poirier.
Poirier, my thing is he's kind of doing his own thing now. Like he doesn't have the belts that'll be required because he doesn't seem to be going after a fucking belt.
I would say Gaethje, but Gaethje said he only has like 2-3 fights left in him.
Really?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he
gonna
said
say.
he doesn't want to fight long in his life.
That's good. I get
Well,
that.
he's been
smart,
through wars too, man. He either knocks out or gets knocked out.
Yeah, Poirier fucked
This
him
is
up.
this is a really bad one,
Gets choked out too.
but I like this guy. He's up and coming. He's in not great division. Giga Chikadze.
Yeah.
What about Piotr Jan?
Piotr Jan.
Fuck, I forgot
Yup.
about him.
Yep. He's in my borderline list right now.
Hey, who knows? What's Brandon Moreno? What's Brandon Moreno?
That's what I was going to say.
bro.
Moreno and Figueiredo. Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah,
Figueiredo might have to move up. I don't know if he'll be able to
he
cut
will
that
be.
weight
He has to
anymore.
move up.
But the thing is,
Moreno's
there's
going to
a,
run that division.
I don't know, man. I think Figueiredo can still beat him.
He can, yeah. He can, but that last weight
What are
cut.
the odds
can't weight
going
cut
to
it.
be? What
You
are the
can't weight
odds
cut.
going to be for that third? Do you think Figueiredo moves up? If I see Figueiredo versus Piotr Jan, I'm going to lose my fucking shit.
That'd be
That's
sick.
going to be so good. Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah, another great.
That's a good fight.
He's still kinda,
No, I mean for the next fight.
No, that's a good. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, it's a good option.
Cyril Gain.
maybe. I think Ngannou
Yeah,
puts him. I think
Cyril
Ngannou puts him
Gane.
down. I really do.
I do
Everybody's-
too.
What about Derek Lewis?
Derek Lewis. I think
you
Cyril
think
Gane
they-
out. I think Cyril Gane outpoint strikes Derek Lewis.
I got
Yeah, I
Cyril
think
Gane,
Ngannou
and I
rolls
hope,
him.
I hope Cyril Gane's the underdog. I hope
I don't think he will.
Versus
I don't think
Lewis
he will
or
be.
versus
I think
Ngannou?
versus Lewis.
I think it'll be like Gain and Lewis plus. That's what I think it'll be.
Yeah. I will bet that. Minus 130 is still a great number. I
It
still
is.
I
It is.
take Gane.
Ngannou. I don't see Ngannou getting stopped by anybody right now, other than maybe Stipe on a comeback and by wrestling.
John Jones.
Like he's.
Thing
We're
is,
talking about strikers right now that are going to
Stipe
be
took
Yeah,
Stipe
there's
took
no-
a round and a half of everything
ass whooping.
Ngannou
Yeah,
had.
that was pretty impressive,
It was.
and at a
really
lower
was
weight
impressive.
too. Like
With he had Kamaru Usman in his corner too, man. Just being patience.
Mm-hmm.
but
He had patience.
these are we're talking about Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis for both strikers, and Derek Lewis got an easy treatment last time they fought.
Cyril Gane has some kicks, man. Cyril Gane's he's more athletic than Derek Lewis, but Derek Lewis got that power.
Dude, Ngannou has takedowns now. Ngannou has takedowns now.
Yeah,
Cyril Gane
kind of
has-
does.
After rocking his opponent, he has takedowns.
He's
Cyril
not
Gane
gonna wanna
could-
use
Cyril
him,
Gane
though.
could knee him. Cyril Gane could knee him. He could definitely head
He's
kick
got
him.
2 submission victories.
I think he only has one, doesn't he?
No, he's got
Just has
2
the Kimura?
He has 2
Two
Kimuras.
Kimuras? Oh, shit.
It's fucking hilarious.
Watch
Yeah,
out
it
for
is
Cyril
crazy.
Gane, man. Watch out.
Yeah, I have Cyril Gane up there. I like Cyril Gane. I think Ngannou, Stipe, and John Jones are going to run that division. I don't think Gane. I think Gane just came in the wrong time.
That's so stacked. That's so stacked. Cyril Gane is a great heavyweight too, though.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it. We didn't even talk about it today, but so Derek Lewis is fighting Cyril Gane
Oh yeah.
for the interim heavyweight title belt. Do we have a date on that?
Yeah.
We do have the date.
It is a date. It is
Um,
265.
No way.
Yeah, August
it
7th.
is.
Is it
Yeah.
August 7th? Okay. Okay.
A lot of
I might not be able to do that live stream.
complaints about that
I
interim
might not be
belt.
able to. If you guys want to do it, I might not be able to do that live stream. Just let me know now.
All
right.
But it won't be on until later at night. So you'll be able to watch
Oh,
it.
that's a good point. I'll be able to do the main card anyway. Cool. Never mind.
You got work on the 7th.
Yeah,
But I'd
um,
love to start that.
that's a good point.
I think I can.
265.
I think I
That's
can.
interesting.
I think I
So
can
it's
handle
for,
it.
but it's weird that it's for the interim belt, which means Ngannou's not hurt.
No.
So it just means that Dana White gave him the contract. Francis doesn't want to sign it. And Dana White said, fuck you, I'm going to put another belt on. Which is there's two reasons that's so interesting. One, because that's going to put pressure on Ngannou to fight the winner of that belt and not wait for John Jones.
Yeah.
That's why it's most interesting.
Dana White's fucking himself in the long run.
No, he's not. This
I
is
think he
great
is.
marketing.
It's both sides. It's both sides. Yes, you could say it's
He-
great marketing, but
He looks
wouldn't
like
you,
the bad guy right
but
now.
wouldn't you also agree that if he just said fuck it and paid Jones and Ngannou the $40 million it would take for both of them to fight, that would be great marketing.
UFC
because
is
that would
worth 500. What is it?
billion.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
$4 billion company. I think
Yeah.
The one thing I just want
they
to
could
point
afford
out.
to pay the fighters more, but then again, he doesn't want to build that complacency. Oh, we have enough money. Why am I going to fucking fight?
No, I
Like,
completely
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
And that's
no,
his
very
job is to not pay. It's completely in his right, and he's
Yeah.
doing it right. But at the same time, Jones versus Ngannou is going to be the
Mega
top
fight,
3 selling pay-per-views ever.
Maybe.
But
No, I think it will
maybe.
be.
All right. Well, the
I
only
think it's
reason
maybe. Go ahead, Austin.
the only reason why I say that is one of the biggest names in the sport right now is Israel Adesanya.
Mhm.
Other big name, Nate Diaz. Dude, it only sold 630. What was it?
700,000,
700,000?
which is good for like 12th all time.
Yeah, but 700,000 for that.
That's
I was
pay-per-view
expecting.
buys. That's not gross sales.
Okay.
700,000 is good for pay-per-view
But he's
buys.
gonna pay what?
Khabib McGregor did like 2.4 mil pay-per-view buys, and the next highest is like 1.3 mil.
2.4 million.
All right. So what do you think, Nagano? Do you think it doubled? Do you think
Ngannou Jones at least does $1 million. It's like 1.5 mil. I think it's literally like top 3.
I don't know.
I
if
don't think- I
Jones
don't think it
has
beats
enough
Khabib
of
McGregor.
a fan base that's loyal.
Um,
Like, not that's no. 'Cause I don't think a lot of people like him. Like, I know.
I'll tell
I
you
know
what, Colby's
love
not
him.
in that fan base. I'll
Yeah,
tell you that
damn,
fucking
that
much.
fucking guy, man.
I know you love him, but
You
I
could be
like
right.
him too.
You
But
could
he
be
just-
right.
he
John
has that
Jones
history
doesn't
of not
sell a lot of
pulling.
pay-per-views. No, you're completely right. But if you get Jones versus Ngannou and you build it as the biggest fight in UFC ever, which you could.
Yeah, goat losing.
It's GOAT versus the fucking new unstoppable force, greatest hitter ever versus the greatest puncher ever versus the greatest fighter ever.
Yeah, technically,
That's what you
yeah.
call that
They
fight.
both know it's the fight to make.
And then you put fucking Adesanya Whitaker as the co-main event? Come on.
Zach, how much is
Come on.
Adesanya's on a cone. He's on a
Zach,
cone.
how
You
much
would
does the
be for-
pay per view cost?
He's on a
I
co-main.
see your point.
How much does that pay per view cost?
$70.
So let's do the numbers here, because the UFC is making quite a lot of millions.
Say it's
quite a lot of.
If it's just $1 million, that's $70 million off pay-per-view.
For
buys.
700,000 sales, it's 49 million.
Yeah.
But
they won't be making that much money, bro,
they gotta
for paying the
expand.
fighters that much.
Well, that's just off pay-per-view buys. If you
No.
now would go ahead and add it to the ticket price, where the lowest ticket price to that pay-per-view is more than $70.
Yeah, it's probably like 200.
It'll be
bucks.
So now you're at least
300
fucking
bucks for both seats.
quintupling your money.
Whoa, ticket price for Ngannou, John Jones.
The lowest price is at least more than $70.
I
For the
thought it was
lowest.
like
Couple hundred. It's a couple
Yeah.
hundred.
That's what I mean.
And I
150.
think
So you're making $50 million off pay-per-view buys, then you're making way more than
I
that
wouldn't
off
say
tickets.
way more,
Just-
but I'd say probably because you get there's the limitations of how many people can be in a building.
not even.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Not in Texas.
So it's probably at least double. That's what
Right.
it's probably double.
Because you got some tickets that are
And then they
30,000
gotta
apiece.
pay for the venue renting,
Yep.
and then the advertising, and then all the fucking shows they're
Mhm.
doing on the side, and then they gotta pay ESPN their fucking
Which
percentage.
the venue itself is like $3 million. The
Probably,
advertising, because they have a partnership with ESPN, is not that much because ESPN's paying for the advertising. And you,
I'm interested in seeing where all the money goes on the side.
the business reports on UFC would be so interesting to see. It would be so fucking interesting
Does it?
because then we could be like, all right, maybe we're giving Dana too much shit.
Yeah.
Dana White, you should come on the podcast, talk about it.
He'd be like, "Fuck you, guy."
As soon as he comes on the podcast, you gonna pay John Jones or what, bro? Click, leaves.
Yeah, you would leave in a heartbeat. Yeah, John Jones, man. I mean, if John Jones was the villain, if he was the Kobe Covington, people would want to see John Jones get knocked out, kind of like Floyd Mayweather, because of all his antics that he's done in his career. If he played the villain, fucking Ngannou's Superman, it would be. I think it would break 2.4 million.
John,
If they advertise it the right way.
But
it
John Jones isn't that guy.
No.
Even though he could be.
He could be.
he's
but
the
not.
boring
He's
guy
not.
from Albuquerque.
He is kind
Right,
of.
he is.
He's kind of boring. He's kind of boring. Other than he wins.
I wouldn't say his fight.
I like
style's boring.
I like the legacy that he fights with.
No, yeah.
So his fights
He
are
needs a
interesting.
good rivalry.
No, his
If he got a
personality is
good
boring.
rivalry
Well,
with
DC,
Ngannou,
you saw how big that fucking was.
exactly.
Yeah.
If they started talking shit to each other, like actually talking shit and fucking throwing each other at the press conference, then it would probably hit 2 mil.
How much? How
And Ngannou
much?
punches Jones without gloves. What do you
How
think
much
happens?
pay-per-views did John Jones Daniel Cormier have?
I wonder which is more.
The second. So that's interesting. That is something that we could see. What do you think it is?
So
600,000.
the second one was UFC 214. The first one was 182.
UFC 214,
That
UFC
is a
182.
long gap. 214.
214 did 860,000 buys.
Not bad.
I was gonna.
Not
I was gonna
good.
say around.
No,
7.
well,
Not really
not
great.
for how intense the rivalry was.
Yeah.
It's so crazy when you look at the top 10 and it's just McGregor.
Who's
McGregor.
Cerrone is crazy.
Who's number one?
For UFC, it's Khabib McGregor.
Yeah.
And it's not close.
Mayweather versus Canelo, the one.
Mayweather has 3 of the top 4 buys in pay-per-view history. Just pay-per-view.
UFC's taking over
Mayweather
boxing.
Pacquiao, Mayweather McGregor.
Poirier McGregor 2, January of this year, is the 6th highest pay-per-view bought of all time.
That is that. All right, so maybe 600,000 ain't that bad.
By the way, let's talk about the average boxing
700,000.
salary. I'm just going off my Google
Mhm.
results for a pro boxer. The average salary is like $50,000.
Do you want to hear? That's average, though.
Average, yeah.
Do you want to hear a stat that's really alarming?
Yeah.
All right. John Jones has an estimated value that he's gained just from UFC contracted fights of $8 million. That's what he's made off of UFC fights.
Yeah.
Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather 3 weeks ago and made $20 million.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's so horrible.
You gotta realize though, it's Floyd Mayweather.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's a
Canelo
huge factor.
Alvarez is the same thing. Canelo
Dude,
makes
Canelo's a
30
draw,
mil
yeah.
a fight.
you're talking about the guy below Floyd Mayweather though.
But there's also a lot of money
Like
that's
Manny-
just
You know Manny Pacquiao.
they have saved up from the Muhammad Ali's and Mike Tyson days.
Oh, it
Fucking
is.
shit like
It
that.
absolutely is. And that's the reason they're paying these big people is because they know that's their last fucking gasp of keeping boxing relevant and
You-
keeping it
Boxing,
sport.
I'm telling you,
guys see the
boxing
number?
will dwindle below UFC in the next 15 years.
It's
MMA
so
in general, actually.
It's just so nuts. Like when you see
People already bet on Manny Pacquiao, dude.
when you see
Who's that puss?
UFC 100. UFC 100.
versus who? Canelo?
Fighting Errol Spence Jr.
UFC 100 was main evented by Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, George St. Pierre, Thiago Alves.
Wow. That's
Brock Lesnar, Frank Mir, George St. Pierre, Thiago Alves. Big fights, but not hugely crazy, especially if we were to look at it from a perspective that we look at pay-per-views now.
GSPP Thiago Alvarez?
Thiago Alves, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking good too.
Oh, yeah. And this was the second fight between Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir. This fight was July 11th, 2009. UFC 2009.
John Jones.
And it fucking did 1.3 million buys. It almost doubled what Adesanya Vettori did.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
And you want to know the
Think
biggest
about-
reason for it? You want to know the biggest reason?
I'll hear it.
Because UFC wasn't cross-promoting with ESPN at the time. And pay-per-views back then were $45. And now they're $70. And you have to have an ESPN subscription on top of it to get $70.
Was that before like
Could be
this
it.
whole UK
That's
thing
definitely, yeah.
happened?
More
Like,
money
UK
fucking deters.
pays cheaper, or like UK was getting it for free, I think, back in the day.
I have no
And
idea.
then like
People
we
used
had
to
pay for
copyright
it.
UFC all the time. That's how I used to watch old UFC. Is people would literally like just record the fucking thing on their Kido and just send it.
Huh.
That was back in the day when copywriting wasn't. Dana White wasn't all over that shit.
DMCA is pretty big now.
What?
Fucking DMCA.
I don't know what that is.
It's where they're stealing copyrighted content.
Oh,
When you're playing, you can actually be prosecuted for it now. Like it's a bill that recently passed last year, I think. Not to get into fucking politics and shit.
Speaking of that, that's a great way to bring up July 10th. Make sure you check out UFC 264 live reactions from MMA Complete. We live stream every single UFC pay-per-view as we will be doing for this one and the next coming several. So wherever you're watching this now, Fans Only Sports, Naked Sports, MMA Complete podcast on YouTube or complete_MMA on Twitter. Check us out at 8 p.m. on July 10th, 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. for every single pay-per-view. Come check us out. We live stream through the entire event.
Hey, so Zach, is that we're gonna
Number 6.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for us. MMA Complete podcast, number 53 in the books. Check us out July 10th when we go live, 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., where we'll be covering the trilogy, Conor versus Poirier. And if it's anything like the last one, it's one of the most bought pay-per-views, so you won't want to miss it. You won't want to see what we're watching as everybody else is. And it's for free that you can watch us, so come check us out.
Yeah. Bet on it so you can split the picks out too, because we will be betting.
You know we'll be ripping tickets, except for me this time.
We ripped a lot of tickets last time.
Yeah.
Go check out MMA Complete.
I'm going to do less tickets, more betting.
Nice. There you go. All right, that's going to do it for us. July 1st
like
in
it.
the books. Shout out, happy birthday to Mama Drapo.
Mama
Happy B-Day.
Drapes.
We are going to be back next Thursday where we're going to actually be talking about UFC 264. Going to be talking about the undercard. We're going to be talking about, first of all, July is a ridiculous month for UFC. So
Yeah.
many fucking fights.
Hell yeah,
We
brother.
got Dillashaw Sandhagen coming up.
August 2.
What's
First week
what's
of
July
August, dude.
24th?
Month
Oh, that
away.
is Sandhagen.
A
Dillashaw.
month away, we have the interim belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
August.
So make sure you don't want to miss any of the podcasts. We go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. and then we go live for the UFC pay-per-views, UFC 264 on July 10th, starting 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Yeah, it's what we do, man. It's good times.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. Get to comment with us, rip up some tickets.
We got
It's pretty good. Go
Kevin
check out
Jackson.
MMA Complete podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, check it out. Check out our Twitter. We will be posting our bets on there.
Subscribe
This
to the
time.
MMA Complete Podcast OnlyFans account.
All right,
Premium
we're gonna
members
get
get special
Fans
content.
only.
Yeah,
All right.
fans only account.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the list. Make sure you check out nakedsports.com where you can see our full entire list numerically. And hope everybody has a great day. Have a great week. Sorry we don't get to watch any UFC this weekend. Kind of a bummer, but it
It
will
is
be
a
back
bummer.
next weekend.
It's a bummer.
It'll be back next weekend and it'll be better than ever.
We had a good list.
It'll
though.
be
Because Poirier is going to beat Connor.
1 point.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna say
I see what you did there, buddy.
1.9.
It's good to dream.
1.9 million pay-per-views.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We're out of here.